In the Sicha for Parshas Bishalach, the second Sicha, the Rebbe addresses a very common concern that many people have when it comes to outreach. The concern being, who is to say that spending hours or days reaching out to quote-unquote outsiders, people that are not motivated, for whom Judaism is not a priority, which is why they find themselves, or even in some cases put themselves, outside of the Jewish life. Who is to say that my investing time to inspire a mitzvah, or two mitzvahs, or a bit of Torah study, or a slight change in the right direction, is more valuable than my own mitzvahs that I'm doing, or the Torah study that I'm learning? Especially if I'm going to inspire one mitzvah in the time that it would take me to do many mitzvahs. Or I'm going to inspire a bit of Torah learning in a time that I would be immersed in Torah learning, and I would be immersed in deep, meaningful Torah learning. Not just in a way superficial or experimental Torah learning, but meaningful study. So who's to say that it is right to leave the zone of Torah and mitzvahs, go out into the busy, cynical world, and try and round up Jewish people and inspire them to do a mitzvah or two? And this question bothers many people who find themselves unwilling and unable to leave the very holy, comfortable place of a yeshiva, or a Jewish community, or a holy environment, just in order to inspire a single mitzvah. And it's a good question. But the answer is from the Torah. The same Torah that makes you love mitzvahs and makes you value Torah study and closeness to God. The same Torah tells us that when the Jewish people left Egypt, left Mitzrayim, they were attacked by Amalek. And Amalek was able to reach the most vulnerable of Jews, the Jews who, of their own fault, or sometimes not of their own fault, placed themselves outside of the protective clouds of glory, God's protective clouds of glory. And Amalek was able to reach them and threaten them. And Moshe rallies the Jewish people, all the Jewish people, to war against them, and places at the head of the war his own closest, most devoted Torah student, Yehoshua, Joshua, of whom we are told that Yehoshua never left Moses' side. He studied Torah with Moses devotedly more than anybody else, incomparably more immersed in Torah and mitzvahs. And yet he is the one that is dispatched to leave the clouds of glory and to go protect those who are quote-unquote outsiders. But not only that, Moshe, who sits in prayer and fasting and beseeches God to make the Jewish people victorious, is later told by God, you should have gone yourself too. Moshe, Moses himself. And Moses was not ignoring the fight. He was supporting it, and he was the one who was making it work through his prayers and his Torah. And God told him, Moshe, you should have gone too. When a Jew is in trouble, physically, or in danger spiritually, there is nobody that is too high or too deep to be drafted to that war, to that fight, to save that Jew, even if it's only for a mitzvah or a moment of closeness to Hashem.